Okay, now moving on from the sales section for light customers to the expense section for customers who have subscribed to our standard tier, we have expense register, record expense, expense items, salary commission, and vendors. Okay, so first of all, to record expense, you need to create the expense under expense item, and you need to also create the vendor that you'll be purchasing the item from because these are expenses. So let's just start by creating vendors. Okay, so as you can see, when you click vendors, the list of vendors you've already created is right here. So let's just go through the steps to add a new vendor by clicking add vendor by the top right. And what is the name of the vendor? Let's just say Agoda Warehouse. Okay, and then you can say vendor type, business or individual. Let's just go with business, and then we put the vendor's phone number right there and the vendor's email address. Okay, and then there's an option for more details, so you can put notes and you can put the vendor's actual address, or if you don't want, you can just proceed and you save, and voila, your vendor has been saved successfully and is right here, Agoda Warehouse, and you see the details, email and phone number. So now the next thing you want to do is you can either go back to Action Center to create, to go to expense items rather. Okay. So you can just go to expense items to create the expense item now before you can record the expense for that item against the vendors which you've created. So let's just go to expense items. Okay. And we click, these are all the expense items we've created. And we click add item by the top right in the blue on the blue button. Okay, so what item are we purchasing? Let's just say we're purchasing school chairs. Okay, we're purchasing school chairs. Okay, and what's the expense category of these school chairs? So right here you see a bunch of categories. So for this purpose of this demo, we're going to go with purchase of furniture and fittings since it's chairs we're purchasing. And what's the measurement type we're going to be purchasing? We're going to be purchasing this in pieces, okay? And then we save. Okay, so as soon as we save, um, the, the expense type we created is just going to be right here. So just scroll down to S and we see it right here that has been created. School chairs, we haven't bought any yet, so it's still on zero. Okay, so now we've created the warehouse that sells the school chairs and we've created the school chairs itself. So now we want to buy school chairs. Okay, so now I want to record an expense. Okay, so you click record expense. Okay, and then you go to item name to look for the item we just created, which is school chairs. Okay, so as soon as you select school chairs, you can add your item description. School chairs for the, the Montessori on Bridge Road. Okay, and then we can say we are getting 50 units of these school chairs, and on those 50 units, they are going to cost us 150,000 naira. So you can put if delivery is complete, if you've received all the items. If not, you put what's remaining and you put the supply due date. So when the date is due, our platform reminds you that you're supposed to receive the remainder of your items from your vendor. Okay. When delivery is complete, you just check the delivery complete box. Okay. You can add some notes if you would like. You could just say all goods intact. It's up to you. And then you could just go to next. So now you need to choose a vendor. Okay, so this is the expense summary. So remember, we created the vendor that was in the Agoda warehouse. So now we can just say paid in full. Okay, or if I'm not paying in full, I can say okay, I paid just 100,000 naira, and then it will give you the balance and it will tell you you can choose the due date when you're supposed to pay that balance, and our platform will notify you as well. So for the purpose of this demo, we're going to say we paid in full, and then we're going to choose a vendor. Normally, if you're doing paid in full, you don't need to choose a vendor because the transaction is complete. So you can just go with an unnamed vendor. But let's just select the vendor which we created, which is the Abuda warehouse. Okay. And then paid from. So which account did we pay this 150,000 naira from? So let's just say we can pay it from the cash account or we paid it from the account itself, the bank account we've registered on our profile. So let's just say we paid this from cash, okay? And we submit, okay? And then voila, your transaction was successfully saved. Successfully. Okay, so that means you've successfully recorded that transaction. So now you can come here to a shortcut to see your expense register, which is also available on the Action Center, or which you can also come here from expense history. If you just click expense history, you see it has taken you to expense register. And here you will see um, the expense history of all the expenses you've carried out, and you can go on to the next pages to evaluate them, and so on and so forth. Okay. Next, we'll be moving on to another item on the expense menu. So we've created a vendor, we've created an expense item, we've recorded an expense, we've viewed the expense register, and now we want to record a salary payment or commission payment, which is also an expense for our business. Remember, if you've paid salary to your employees, that's still an expense for your business, and you want to record it, so you just come here to record that salary. So obviously, if you've paid salary to your staff needs to be on the system. So you just select either it's a staff that's already created or you can add a new staff. So let's just add a new staff. You can go with the name Clark Kent and we can go with the phone number. You can add the phone number for him. Okay. And then we can choose whether it's salary or commission. So let's just go with salary. And let's say his salary is 45,000 naira. Okay. And which account did we pay Mr. Kent his 45,000 naira from? So we paid it from, let's just say we paid it from the cash account again. So we know that our cash in hand is decreased visibly. Okay. And what month did we pay him for? So we're in June, we paid him for June 2022. Okay. And is he a taxpayer or not? Okay. So you select that according to how you're managing your business, and then you just submit. Okay, you can put notes if you prefer, and voila, the expense has been recorded again, and you will also see that on your expense history. You see, salary paid to Clark Kent, salary for June 2022, 45,000 naira, and it was paid in full, it was completed. So, and that's that for the expense section. So we've been able to record an expense, okay, view your expense register, view expense items, and create expense items. You've been able to pay salary and be able to create vendors. So that's that for the expense item on the Kashia platform.